Camtasia is an incredibly versatile program that is built around recording your screen, but it does a lot more. In this particular segment, what we're going to focus on is the actual recording of the screen content. The first thing we'll do is how you set up for recording. And we'll talk a little bit about things like recording dimensions, and then we'll talk about the recording area. And then finally, we'll go over some of the menu options that are associated with the tool and conclude with the actual recording process. So I am now doing a recording using Snagit to record Camtasia, and if this works, it'll be a miracle. But at any rate, if we take a look at the Camtasia menu, one of the things that you can do when you open Camtasia, you're going to see this particular toolbar. In fact, what I can do is I can actually open Camtasia this way and open the recorder. Right now I'm recording full screen. If I wanted to record at a standard dimension, 1280 by 720 is a good dimension for that. Then what I can do is I can actually set that up, and you'll notice now we have a brighter area of the screen, and this brighter area of the screen is the area that will be recorded. And then I can leave my recorder button outside, which I find is very convenient. Also, 1280 by 720 is about the maximum you're going to be able to send up to things like YouTube. And so as a result, there's really no reason to record your whole screen. In fact, when you do record your whole screen, the recommended technique is to actually edit it in Camtasia Producer, so you only look at part of the screen at one time. Some of the other menus that you might have, for example, if you take a look at the capture menu, you could start recording. You can actually select an area to record, or you can lock it to a particular application. If I click on record webcam, which I can also do here, we may be able to see my webcam video. So I'm going to try to do that here. And this is, I have a Logitech webcam, which is actually a very nice webcam. And so it's telling me that it won't record mouse click sounds. Fine. So you can see now there's a little image of me looking at the webcam. I don't like to do webcam recordings while I'm doing screen videos because I'm always looking at the screen and the keyboard, and it just doesn't look right. So I mainly do it when I'm doing things like PowerPoint presentations where I can actually look at the camera, which presumably means I'm looking at the audience as I do now. So I'm going to turn off the webcam at this moment. And notice I'm not actually recording yet on Camtasia. I am actually, let's see, I guess I have to turn it off here. And so now we've turned off the webcam, so I'm no longer staring away. Let's take a look at some of the other things we can do. We can add annotations. These are not terribly interesting. System stamps and captions can be added to the video. Some of the options that are available are a little bit more interesting. I'll move them up here so that we can see them a little more clearly. One of the things that you can do is you can put in sound effects for mouse button up and down, which is useful if you're walking through software. You can also adjust the cursor, and there are two ways to do it. One is you can make the effects editable in Camtasia Studio, which means you can do it post-production. Otherwise, you can actually set up effects so that, for example, when you move the mouse, a translucent circle goes with it, or you can highlight the mouse clicks. Once again, you can edit these in Camtasia Studio if you click this box, and a lot of times I don't even bother, so that is a useful effect. If we come over to the tools, Camtasia Studio will launch Camtasia Studio, and some of these like Menu Maker and Player are rather older options. If we take a look over here under the Options menu, we have some general options. that appear while you're recording. Uh, you can, here we can look at the different inputs. This is another place where I could set the webcam if I wanted to. I always use the defaults here. The hotkeys are important if you're recording full screen and you don't want the player showing, because otherwise you're not going to be able to remember. And you can customize these so that, and then I usually write them down because I never exactly know what they're going to be like. And then there are just some basic options on how the program appears, none of which are that critical. Now, one thing I did is I changed minimize recorder to never. What that means is it's going to show the recorder, because that's what I wanted to do when I do the next segment where I actually show the Camtasia recorder in operation. But under normal circumstances, you might say minimize it to the taskbar. Another thing that you can do if you can't remember the hotkeys is you can minimize it to the taskbar, and then when you're done with your recording, you just bring it up, click the taskbar, show it, and then what you can then do is edit it in Producer, because virtually anything you do in here can be edited in Producer. So that's basically all you need to know. Camtasia Recorder is very easy to set up. And then when you've recorded a video, what will happen is it will save it to a camrec file. And then that camrec file is very easily edited in Studio. So in this particular example, what I'm doing is I am recording without a webcam, and what I just want to do is go through some of the various menu items that you can change while you're recording. And frankly, there aren't a lot of changes that you would want to make while you're recording, but there are a few. So if we come over to the capture window, basically this allows us to do what the buttons allow us to do. You could, however, stop recording audio. The effects, frankly, the only effects that you're going to be interested in is possibly getting rid of the mouse click sounds. Once again, very minor. Now, when we get to tools, there are some slightly more useful things that we can do. If we come over here and look at the recording toolbar, one of the things that you can do is you can actually adjust what is on the recording toolbar. And one thing that is useful is the effects. So if I click on OK, what happens is effects get added to my toolbar. And one effect is to add a marker. This allows you to create indexed videos with a menu. A little bit beyond the scope of our basic coverage here, but TechSmith has some wonderful videos on this. Screen draw is something that you might occasionally use, particularly if you're recording with a tablet. So if I click on screen draw, what happens is I can get a pen or a marker or something like that. I'll click on this pen, and now I can actually draw on the screen while I'm recording my video, and that will appear. And then when I turn off screen draw, I'm back to the regular screen. So what screen draw does, it creates a level over your video. You can draw on it. It won't affect any of the programs that are running. And with a tablet PC, that is something that is actually potentially quite useful.